Hey guys, happy Friday. Another Fire Friday. Today is, I don't even know, it's February 16th. It's Friday, and I'm so excited. Glad to have you guys back. We are talking agent attraction, how to build wealth and help others catch the opportunity here at eXp Realty. And I'm super excited because not only do we have one of my good friends that who's hanging out with us because it's always more fun when we've got our friends around us and we do this together. But she also happens to be the vice president at eXp Realty. And she's got a tremendous background, right? She's got a background in sales. She knows real estate inside and out, has built a team and all of those things, but also then took on a role where she was one of the top recruiting team leaders in one of the largest real estate companies in the world, and did that so successfully that we stole her to help us lead growth over here at eXp, and she's doing a phenomenal job. So she's the one that everyone goes to negotiate, the teams coming on and brokerages moving over, and for them to understand how to translate their business opportunity to the eXp opportunity. And it's working out all right. I think we're getting hundreds of brokerages and thousands of teams joining us every year. So I think she's doing okay. So Amy Weaver, thank you for being here. We appreciate you, and it's so fun to have you here to hang out.
It's so fun to be here, and I don't know which guy hired me or not, but pretty blessed on that end. Yeah,
Somebody brilliant. Somebody brilliant.
somebody brilliant. It's really funny because when I got tapped for looking at the position for the vice president of the East, I was like, I'm so not qualified for that. And it was Rich Thomasini. He's like, you are like, I promise you are. Just turn in your resume. So and here I am 3 years later. It's almost been 3 years to the day that I started talking to you. So it's pretty cool.
That's amazing. And I love the story because I mean you were succeeding, right? I mean, you were successful in your role. You were one of the top recruiting team leaders. I forget what it was, like over 200 recruits in a year.
236. Yeah.
There you go. Right? Who's counting, right? 236 recruits added in a year to the market center. And that was not a one-hit wonder. It was multiple years of recruiting at a really high level. And so so Amy was happy where she was. She was succeeding. She's well compensated and all of those things. So here I am, trying to steal her away. And what was your interest level on our first conversation?
About a 2. It was about a 2. And it wasn't because I didn't see the model of EXP, because that was the first time when I sat with Rich Thomasini and a Panera Bread. That scared me because I got really big. I'm like, why did I just
I'll have me in there
So
too.
I'm going to change my view so that I don't see myself that big. I can't talk to myself. I sat with him in a Panera Bread, and the company that I was at was really anti-EXP, and that seemingly had become their focus. Is every time I was on a coaching call, it was like all the things you need to say to keep your agents from going to EXP. So I was just like, I was over EXP, to be honest with you. And then Rich Thomasini sat and he literally described the model in a way that I had never heard. And it really clarified some things for me that I had been told incorrectly, to be honest with you. And I saw the opportunity. And then I knew at that point, when I was bringing agents to my market center, that I wasn't being honest anymore about, this was the best place for them. So definitely it put question marks in my head. My problem, which you were able to solve, is I saw it. And then I was getting paid, as you said, I was getting paid well. I was being compensated well. And I had really gotten out of production altogether to lead the market center. And so there wasn't really an opportunity for me to bridge that gap between the salary that I was bringing in and coming over to EXP. I saw it, but I was kind of trying to figure that out. So my level was a 2, but I did understand that EXP was a great model. You helped me because you could speak the language of both my old brokerage and EXP, and you knew my pain points. And so that really helped me to understand, like, even if I don't get this position, once we finish talking a few times, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to make it work because this is where I need to be. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I could see your body language shifted throughout the call. You're first kind of like, yeah. And towards the end, you're kind of leaning in. You're like, all right, tell me a little bit more about that. So,
Yeah.
it's interesting though. One of the things that, for you in a leadership position at your former company, you were fed a lot of misinformation about about EXP, right? And that's,
Right.
that's typical, right? I mean, when we first started with that company, at least, for me, early days with that company, all the other companies were doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
About that company. And now that company was doing it about EXP. But, that information is then taken as, okay, these are the facts about that company. Right.
Mhm.
And so then we go to our agents and our agents are saying, hey, what do you know about this new model? And they go, well, this is what I know. And that's the information. So then the agents have that information. So a lot of times when it comes to agent attraction, um, we don't know that other agents are coming from a position of just misinformation, right? They're misinformed about the opportunity. And so while we're, enthusiastic about it, that, a lot of times we don't understand that there's a lot of their objections aren't objections, they're misunderstandings,
Sure,
right?
absolutely.
So
And
any,
that still happens, like day in and day out. I'm talking to agents that are recruiting, and they're like they had no idea like what the true model of EXP is. And it blows my mind because we have 90,000 agents now. You would think they would have heard it a time or two. So that's one really key thing is, if you are going to attract, because they had talked to other EXP agents, make sure you do understand the model and what our offerings are and how it works. So I think that's a really key point. But if you remember Robin Mann, who is amazing, when we were where were we? In New York City at Inman recently, she happened to meet someone. She was getting drinks at the bar that lived in Martha's Vineyard, and she was at a boutique brokerage, and she had never in her life heard of EXP. So she's going to recruit her over here, and maybe that'll change the face of Martha's Vineyard. We'll bring luxury to Martha's Vineyard through EXP. So yeah, so you never know, like either they haven't heard of it at all, or they have misinformation either from one of us or from, an outside brokerage. So yeah, it's interesting how that continues to happen when there's so many of us out there now.
I know. Well, so you're in Charlotte, in the greater Charlotte market, and that's become a hotbed for EXP. What's interesting, a lot of people in the fire partner community are Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, and this has been, and it's fairly typical just in general. I mean, we've experienced this before with other companies and even in other industries. This area is a little bit more traditional in its structure. And so other parts of the country, like Texas, seems to move really quickly to new ideas and adopt them and everything else and kind of not be a standoff. Florida, California, and then, North Carolina has grown really fast and people have seen it and adopted it. And up here, we're still in that growth phase. We've got a fair amount of agents up here, but there still are pockets like Martha's Vineyards and other markets where nobody's heard of us.
And I'm jealous of that. I'm jealous of that because that means there's opportunity still,
Yeah.
I mean, it's so much opportunity if you can tap into that and grab hold of it and get that one key player that's going to change the face of, suddenly there's EXP agents everywhere. And it happens really quickly because that is what happened in the Charlotte market. And
Right.
Rich was part of that. Like he was the instigator for growth here. And we are inundated with EXP agents, but I love it. I love it, but it's still, everything still has opportunity. Don't get me wrong. But if you're in an area like you guys, like you're describing, like so much opportunity there.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm jealous.
for the agents that are in an area like that, who maybe haven't experienced the way that it takes off and the way that it kind of snowballs and grows really fast and stuff, and the benefits early days, maybe can you describe what Rich, how that happened through that group and then how it's, like how should they approach it in their market to be the one who, I always call it nudging the snowball off the ledge, right? How do they get that started?
Well, I know for Rich's theory, he was looking for influencers. So he was looking for, those team leaders and, the ones that he knew had a very successful record of recruiting or whatever. So that's how he changed the game here, is because he knew who to go after. And so once he did that, then, just spread like wildfire. Everyone's so different. So, if you're just getting started, I'm a relationship-based person, so I'm going to nurture, invite. I want them to trust me. And once they trust me, then, I'm going to continue to have like business conversations with them and help them out. And then I'm going to start inviting them to things. I do believe what Brent says, like, they make big decisions at big events. And so if you can take take them or get them to come with you alongside you to really feel the energy of EXP and see the minds that we have and the entrepreneurs and like the biggest, business builders out there are at EXP. And if you can get them to see that, feel that, then I think it's a no-brainer for them. But I always like the conversation is, are you open? Are you open to having a conversation? And no one ever wants to say they're not open to something. So if you're like, are you open to having a conversation just, about your business and what it might look like if you were to bring your business to EXP, and say it like in a real, like casual way, not like, hey, you need to look at this, whatever. At least that's my approach. And it always worked for me when I was, cold calling at KW or calling, for cross sales. But you guys, when you have cross sales, that's a key opportunity. I was always like, I treated them as great as my client. And so when we're at the closing table, I was, building a relationship there. And then that's how I built my own personal, KW my downline at KW. I didn't mean to say that, but that's how I built my own there is by, building those relationships and inviting them for coffee. And then they actually start asking you. So tell me about it. You don't even have to broach the subject sometimes. Once they know you, trust you, and like you, and they feel like, you're building this relationship for the right reason, they bring it to you a lot of times. So it just takes one. But I think for Rich, like he looked for those very key leaders that were influencers, and he knew that were hungry and were going to make a difference. And so I think that domino led to several other ones, coming into fruition. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So two key takeaways from that. Okay. So one of them being, just like being great with the other agent, right? You talked about treating the other agent as good as well as, it's the right word there.
Client.
as well as you treated your own client, right? And so, you're being great to work with. You're picking up your phone when they call, when there's critical moments in the contract, you're making sure you're not making their job difficult by being super responsive, giving them the information that they need, being kind with them, making them look good. I love seeing agents who would say nice things about the other agents at the closing table to their clients. Like, hey, I just got to let you know, like, you're so fortunate that you are working with so-and-so because they're such a good agent, right? And they're so great to work with. I love when I get a contract that comes in with their name on it, because I know it's going to be a really great transaction, right? And they're going to bring me great people. So making them look good in front of their clients, and that kind of stuff is something where you don't have to do it. But anyway, so yeah, that kind of a thing there opens the door, because it builds that trust with you and they like you. And so they'll come to you and ask you, as you mentioned. So that's one key thing. If you want to say anything else about that before I talk about the other one.
No, just, people want to be in close proximity with people that they see are successful and that they like. So I like how you praise them in front of their clients. If you have that opportunity, I was seeing like in DC, there's separate closings, but if you have that opportunity to praise, that agent in front of their clients, then you're right. Like that, there's nothing anyone likes better than for you to make them look good. So they're automatically going to be a fan of yours. So yeah.
Yeah,
so
exactly. If there's any interaction with the other clients on the other side, even if the other agent isn't there, if there's any time where you're ever interacting with them, taking that advantage to just say, to thank that agent for how professional they are, how great they are to work with, or telling the clients how great their agent is always a good thing. And then the other one was Rich's approach to go find other influential people, right? I mean, it's, we want to get into business with good agents who are selling houses and all that kind of stuff. And we're a real estate company. However, from an influence standpoint inside the market, not everyone's created the same, right? And production level is not necessarily an indicator of influence, right? But it can be. I mean, obviously they're going to be more well-known if they're doing a lot of business and their signs are everywhere. So what do you think makes it, like, if you're Rich found some influencers and then those people, that's the ripple effect, right? So what makes someone influential in their market?
I think the history, I think that, obviously with me, I had a history of bringing agents to the market center. He could look at that and see. I think if they're, if they have a huge social media presence and a huge following for that, then they're influential. And he got Keely Tays, who is also a team leader at Keller Williams. So I'm trying to think of who are the other really big ones. Adam Day. he just like, he looks, I think, for key things. And I think having a social presence that other agents know them well, like when you bring up their name, they're like, oh yeah, I know her, like she's great, or I know him, like he's amazing. So if when a whole bunch of people in the community all know this agent, then you know they're going to have huge influence. So I think just looking for those key people, and you only need a few, really, right? So having a few is going to create like I mean, he had Carrie Briner. Carrie Briner is killing it right now.
Yeah.
And so she's hungry. She understands it. She loves the model. She just wants to impact lives. So I think, when you put all that together, it makes for influence. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And some people are shouting into the wind. You hear them, like, what they put out there on social media, and then you say they have one like and no comments. But some people, when they talk, out on social media, it's like everyone's responding, everyone's laughing at their jokes, everyone's sharing their content, interacting with their posts and that kind of stuff. And they have real relationships. And that to me is a great sign of influence. When they're out there on social media and no one's interacting, then it just doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means people aren't paying attention to what they're saying.
Oh, so true. Yeah, so true. And that's a gift, really. And not to say that people won't surprise you, because I've had people surprise me before. I'm like, wow, I did not, I did not see that coming.
Right.
It's rare because you can almost feel it if you're in a room with them, you can feel the energy even through Zoom sometimes. And you're like, wow, they're going to be a game changer. So, yeah, but people have surprised me before.
Yeah. Right. You never know. Right. So with the market changing, right, and a lot of agents getting out of, we've seen the reports of people getting out of the business, fewer people getting in, a lot of people going to referral status, or maybe the people that weren't producing moving to companies that are flat fee, or just don't charge them anything. EXP is still growing. We still have thousands of people every month joining the company. So, like, what are you finding? What are the things that are most attractive to agents right now, like in this current market and with what we offer and stuff? What are you hearing out there that are usually the triggers that people go, man, I'm coming because you guys have that? Like, what are people most interested in?
So for my part, I'm mostly talking to large teams and brokerages. And I think, if you're going to talk to brokerages, broker owners, there's some pain right now because they're experiencing some of that same loss. Their business is down 30, 40, 50%. They still have the same expenses. They're looking for a solution, and we are very much that solution for them to be able to still have the autonomy of their broker owner business, because it's just brokered by EXP. But we let them be autonomous for the most part with how they come over, but we can leverage all those things that they don't like to do. And so we are the solution for those brokerages that are looking for a soft place to land, and to have some income outside of, most of them are upside down, to be honest with you. So the revenue share is huge for them. And then of course, everyone has heard of, all these incentives that we have right now. So they've got their ears up. They've seen that out there, agents are bringing it to them. So for them, it's looking for a place where their agents can succeed. They can benefit from stock. They can plug into our referrals. They can plug into all these solutions that Leo Pareja has, helped us gain all these different, revenues and EXP exclusives and all of that. So once they know all that, and they know that I can plug my agents in and I can go focus on growth, and I don't have all the headaches of, all the back end office stuff or the liability concerns, then they're ready, willing, and able to talk to us. So Frank and I are going to see a 600 agent brokerage on Monday. And then while we're there, we're going to travel to Hilton Head and see a 40 agent brokerage. And both of them are ready to sign. Felix and I are working on a 500 agent brokerage that is flat fee. Actually, we were able to come up with a solution for them because she was in pain. And she picked up the phone and she's like, I'm ready to, we had talked to her before. So don't forget about those people, follow up, and she's ready to come. We worked out a solution for them. For teams, I think we still have great solutions for teams. And we're all
outside. Could be. Want to go outside?
make that better. Yeah, she likes it.
Yeah. Woo!
But I think, I think that they're looking again to be in close proximity with people who are walking the walk. And EXP has all of that. Like we have the best, the brightest teams. We have the best, the brightest agents. We are not for everyone, and that is okay. We don't need to partner with everyone. So you need to find the agents that have a vision. They have a vision for having a big business, but then also tapping into, understanding like the stock awards are a great option for them, or, the revenue share. And most of, single agents don't necessarily see that up front. But once they get in here, 6 months, 12 months later, like, oh, and if they're excited about where they work and excited about where they hang their license and the people they're surrounded, they want to talk about it. And so once they start to talk about it and feel it, then they get so excited they want to just spread, hey, you need to like look at this. When you get so excited, it's like within you, you're like, I want to change your life. I don't want to change your life.
Yeah.
And so much opportunity. This is hunting season right now. This is recruiting season. So you might see us lose some, but I think you're going to see us gain a whole lot more, because we're still the solution for those agents that are looking for something more, for deeper training, more collaboration, a way to grow outside of just their real estate business, but also grow with their real estate business. So lots of opportunities, and we're innovative. Like we're never going to stop growing and changing, not super drastically changing, but changing, as it helps suit our agents. You told me on day one that we are agent success obsessed. And I see that now more than ever, because every time I'm in a meeting, we are always looking for ways to make, for you guys to put more money in your pockets. And so we're always looking for better solutions for you, more opportunities. So I think that, we are the best solution out there. And if you're out there, showing all those things and putting it on social media, I'm going to give a little secret out. Frank and I are talking with marketing right now. We're trying to get this into marketing. We're trying to have like a post of the week. So if we do that and we like all say, all of us EXP agents, all 90,000 of us are going to like push this week. This is like showing how great we did with our referrals last year. Over 1.3 billion closed in referrals last year from revenue. So that's going to far exceed it this next year. And that's what people want, is a place where they know that they can go to grow their business and that they can still put food on the table for their families. But it's scary out there right now, right?
Yeah.
It's scary for these agents.
Yeah, I think most agents, and you mentioned this, most agents don't really get the revenue share side of this until they're here and they're in the environment, because most people say, I don't want to be a recruiter, right? And they don't understand the concept. So they're here because they believe this is a platform that will help them sell more houses, with better quality of life, better opportunity, be in a good environment, be able to learn and collaborate and that kind of stuff. Those are the reasons that, 80, 90% of the agents move to EXP. It's once you get here and get in the environment that you're so excited. I call them accidental recruiters, because now that, you don't get paid to talk about a movie that you went to, and tell other people that how great it was, but, or a restaurant that you go to, they're probably not paying you to go tell everyone like, hey, have you been to that new restaurant? It was amazing. I loved it. You got to go try it out. We're evangelical about it because we're excited. So company's job, which is why Glenn uses the net promoter score, is, be agent success obsessed, that they can't help themselves like we want to do with our clients from a sales standpoint. If they're so excited, they're going to talk about everyone to you just because they're grateful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Frank always says like, how much ownership do you have in your company right now? And it's so true. We're all owners. So that's a pretty great place to, and they don't necessarily think about that. And it was funny because when I was anti-EXP and when I was doing my due diligence after Rich Tomasini had talked to me and he like made me think in a different way, I started calling some of the agents that had left to come to EXP. And I'm like, tell me the good, the bad, and the ugly. And one of the agents was an average agent. And I called him up just because I had talked to him several times at the market center. His office was like really close to mine. And I'm like, tell me the good, the bad, and the ugly. He's like, well, he's like, Amy, he's like, the training is better than any training I had at our office. And I was like, dang, well, that's a cut.
You know, I was in charge of training, right?
He's like, well, Amy, we had a Frank in our office, and he's like, we've got Frank teaching, Ignite. He's like, he's done like 3 transactions this year because he has time. at EXP, we have our icon agents that are, teaching our training. They are boots on the ground, walking the walk, having tremendous success. And those are the ones we want out there, teaching and training you guys. He's like, my business has increased over 300% since I've been at EXP. I was like, dang, that's incredible. He's like, also, he said, I didn't even realize this, but I was sitting down next to the CEO. I was just having like a conversation. He said, and I'm just talking to him, I was just thinking he's just another guy. He's like, when he got up and left and they're like, dude, you're just talking to the CEO. He's like, I would have never known it. He's like, you're just like normal people. He's like, I don't think I'd ever get the opportunity to even be within a football field of Gary Keller. And I was like, yes. And so that was true. He's like, but most importantly, he said, I've been with this company, I think it was like 2 years. He's like, I have over $250,000 in stock. He said, I never would have had that where I was. He's like, and that's life changing for my 2 kids. So when you tell stories like that story resonated with me. I was like, wow, like that's huge. I'm like, where do I sign? Because he had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. And I'm like, there's no way that, I don't care where the stock is, if you're earning stock and it compounds over time, that is something you're not getting at your brokerage. And that does change your life and your kids' life and their kids' lives. And that's what I'm always looking for. I'm always looking for like what impact is this going to have on my family.
Yeah.
So,
And you and I have 2 kids in college, so we're always,
that's been rough. This I keep saying like, what that big chunk come out of the checking account?
exactly.
Oh yeah, that's why.
Yeah, we're feeling your pain. We're feeling your pain.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that is the coolest thing, and the ability to somehow translate that, because most people wonder about how do I talk to someone, right? How do I broach a subject? How do I go talk to someone about this? And I think being fully engaged, understanding, even if you haven't had your own experience yet, like maybe you just got here, but look around, talk to other agents, look at the opportunities, take advantage of the opportunities that are here, and allow it to impact your life. Build the relationships, get plugged in, because you're going to meet people that will change your life. You're going to meet people that share things with you that help enhance your business, that make this a place where you're like, man, I love it here. All of the things, right? Be involved in the stock program, all of those things, don't let those opportunities go by and hear other people's story. But that's the thing, right? That's the thing that draws people in is that. And so the opportunity to change lives, if you allow your friends to, I mean, I'm not saying they need to be here. Maybe they're in the right place for them, but if you don't even share with them the opportunity, right? Later on, if they end up here, how many times have we heard that people join and then they look at someone else they know and be like, why didn't you ever tell me about this? Like, why did that person have to tell me? I thought you were my friend.
Actually had a big one like that. She's huge and she is on fire. And I should have known she's an influencer because she's a coach. Coaches are also great influencers, right? She's a coach and she had a massive following when she left, KW years ago. Like tons of people followed her. And I had talked to her about coaching at my KW Market Center to try to get her back over. And she was intrigued, but it didn't change her life. So I came to EXP and I completely missed the opportunity, but I'm so glad she's here. But I saw her at an event here in Charlotte and she was like, hey, she's like, I would have come with you if you would have asked me, but you didn't ask me about it. And I'm like, dang it. I was like, dang it. So
there you go. Don't say no for someone else, right?
Well, Brandon was just showing me like the top earners of our newer agents, and there her name was like number 7. And I was like, here she is. Could have helped me pay for college.
Good for
Don't
her.
be a secret excited agent either, So it's, if you're excited about where you are and what you're getting, don't be afraid to share it. People can tell, when that's authentic and when it's not. I think authenticity is really huge. If you're not really that excited about it, you might want to wait until you are. You'll get excited. I think that authenticity shines through, but I get on fire about where I am. And so I do want to share that with as many people as possible. So
that's so cool. How are you doing on time? I want to be respectful of your time. I know you have some other stuff.
I hear them out here, but yeah, if we want to do Q&A, I'll get them.
Cool. All right, I'm going to remove our spotlights here. All right, guys, if you want to either throw a question in chat for Amy if you have any questions on either something she talked about or something that's burning on your mind for her. Go ahead and throw it in the chat. We'll try to go through here and look at it. And I saw some good chatter back in there, and thank you, Frank, for jumping in on some of those as well. It's awesome. Definitely opportunities to
Frank's working in there.
yeah, right. If you've got people you're talking to, what and real quick, maybe something of clarification, because people wonder about what exactly does the growth team do and everything else, what's their role. And a primary role for the growth team is to support you in agent attraction, right? So it's education on, you know, how the company grows, education on what the company offers, education on how to differentiate for teams and brokerages and everything else. And how to talk to people and all of that. But then then you may say, okay, I've got someone on the hook, right? Now I don't know what to do with them, right? And connecting with you know, someone on the growth team and allowing them to have that conversation and guide them through. And then potentially, like for a brokerage, it's negotiations and full financial modeling and everything else. So that's the kind of stuff that they do for you. So if you've got someone big on the line and you say, hey, they want to talk to someone from corporate, you know, $100 million producing agent isn't typically going to change brokerages without talking with someone in leadership at that company to verify everything you're telling them and to understand what it's going to look like to move over, et cetera. So that's what they're there for.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys have Frank. I feel like, you know, Frank's chime in because we have an amazing team right now. They know I would walk through fire for them, and they would do the same for me, I believe. So we really have talented, like above and beyond talent right now on our team. So yeah, Frank, tell them about our talent.
Well, I just think that, you know, the collaboration at the agent level, we all know about that, but there's even a bigger collaboration at the growth level. And, you know, we have the philosophy on our team that it's always a yes until it's a no. So there's nothing that we're not open to having a discussion about. And, you know, just get them on the phone with us or get them on a Zoom with us and we'll find a way, you know, but it kind of gets back to what Amy says that, you know, this may not be for everybody, or sometimes people are just so focused on, you know, the percentage or the dollar that they don't see the big picture. And, you know, we have a way of letting them see the big picture. So I was on a call yesterday with the brokers from New Jersey who had never heard of EX, but they heard of us, but didn't know who we were about. We have over 5,000 agents in New Jersey. Like, how do they not know who we are, right? And I had to explain the whole model to them. It was a Remax thing, they're 95.5, and we had to get through the whole commission split thing. And I said, well, listen, you just paid Remax $75,000. I don't care about your 95.5 split. You're going to pay us $16,000. So are you really concerned about the split, or are you concerned about giving yourself a $60,000 raise?
And it's really funny. Some agents, like, they don't even take the opportunity to do the math. I'm just like, I'm always perplexed about that. So yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people get caught up on the split, and it's like,
Yeah.
no, you're gonna hit the cap in like 2-3 sales, 6 sales maybe, right? Depending on your average sales price. So now you're done. Hey, there's two questions in here real quick, and let's go through them. I don't think they're real long answers, so I think we can get through them.
Okay.
But so Cindy had typed in here that she feels like people kind of glaze over when you talk about revenue share, and then later on they're kind of too shy to circle back on it. And I think, you know, some of the stuff we discuss is just the fact that typically, unless someone is really growth minded and they really, you know, they're very entrepreneurial and they're looking for lots of ways to leverage income, you know, I found up front, I only mentioned rev share, and at the end, like, oh, by the way, like, it's all about, you know, and again, you're asking questions, right? And then you're you know, meeting their needs, and then it's, oh, by the way, but what are you guys finding on the approach?
And I agree with you. Like, I let them talk and figure out like what it is they're looking for and what's going to drive them, or what are you most excited about, you know, as we talk about it. And most of the time it's not revenue share. So I always leave, like, you know, and the cherry on top is, if you ever get interested in this, you know, I can help you with this because I'm very growth minded. Maybe you're not, but you know, this is an amazing avenue where, you know, it can be a life changing, because it can suddenly cover. And this is where they kind of tune in, like, what if it covered a utility payment, or then it led to a car payment, and then it led to your mortgage payment? Like, that's life changing. So, you know, if you ever get interested in that, I'm here to help you. And I have a whole team of people that would love to get involved and help you with that. But yeah, what are you guys seeing?
Yeah.
Well, there's the other question there too, where it's asking about, Carrie's asking about the playbook for a list of benefits for approaching brokers and team leaders. And Carrie, the thing about that is it's a different conversation than just talking to an agent. You know, they have different concerns, different pressures. They have different, I guess, responsibilities. And so getting back to what Amy's talking about, it's really getting to, you don't want to sit there and just list features and benefits to a broker or an owner, because they may not be interested in that. So there's other things that are involved. And what we say to you is, you know, if you could just say to them, and a lot of times I get back to what Amy's saying, I always put a time limit on it. Hey, do you have 15 minutes to talk to somebody? And we will cut it off at 15 minutes. People aren't afraid to talk about their business. If you just say, hey, just give us 15 minutes. Will you talk to one of our growth directors for 15 minutes? And just I get to know you and feel things out a little bit. If you guys can get that introduction, then we can help you land that plane. Our success rate is really high. So I think we brought in, I don't know what the final numbers were, somewhere between 300 and 400 teams and brokerages in 2023. It's somewhere in that range. That's a lot, you guys. So, and all of that started with just a simple introduction or a simple conversation.
I think that was just brokerages, and teams. It was like, yeah, like thousands. Yeah.
Oh, 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I found that people are running away from or running toward people, right? And so they're either running away from a negative, or they're moving towards an opportunity. And so in your discussion with them, you can kind of get a feel for where their head is, right? Are they, because they may be looking at, hey, we're succeeding. My brokerage is good. Everybody's happy. And, so like, why would I go anywhere? But if you show them that there's more opportunity ahead in a different model, then suddenly they go, oh, okay, I'm interested in that, right? So it's like they go, hey, why would I move over? Why was this? Our model's good. My brokerage is good. Everybody's happy. I'm making money. And that same for a team. And they don't know if they don't have an opportunity where they are, they don't know that it exists necessarily. And so showing them that a different opportunity in addition to what they have exists is great for a running toward person. If you do that from a running away from person, they're more worried about, well, what about my expenses? What about my building? What about my staff? What about my whatever? Like they're all worried about the what ifs, and that's a running away from person. And we have to help them translate that business model to EXP and understand how it works. And that's what, so this team can sell both. They can look at the teams and look at the brokerages, see what they have, and then know what we offer in addition for the running toward people. But they can also take the running away from folks and help translate their business model and help them think differently, because they really have to have a mindset shift and say, we'd always tell people, if you're going to come here and do exactly what you're doing there, then it's not worth the change. Come here and do business differently and do different, it doesn't have to be drastically different, but, change to this model and you'll have whatever it is, quality life, income, et cetera.
Love that. That's good.
Awesome,
Call
guys.
Call
What's that?
us.
Yes.
Call
Yeah.
us, like we're here. And so I think the one thing I want to close with, is I think when they're ready to come to us, obviously always reach out if you are kind of stuck, but a lot of times a third party, a three-way call, like from a third party to come in and validate or, to help ask questions. But generally speaking, like on a scale of 1 to 10, when they get about a 6 or 7, then we can help you get them across the finish line. So just so you understand that. And but we're always looking to be helpful. We want to help you grow. Like we're very passionate about that. And so again, just reach out and we'll help find a solution. So we have a great team.
Yeah, it's awesome. And that's, there's 90,000 agents. A good percentage of them are talking to other agents. There are 4 leaders on the growth team. So, well, there's more now. There's more now because we have some folks, for a state and that kind of stuff. But from a national perspective, so you want to go through your channels, right? The first, you're doing the first conversation with them yourself. You're just, just kind of, hey, we're building the relationship, creating an interest. Then you're going to bring in either your sponsor or someone else in your group to have the secondary conversation, do a third party endorsement and kind of go through some of those things. And once that person is interested, if they just need something to push them over the edge, right? Or if they're a high producing agent and they need to go through something a little bit more complex, then you're reaching out. What's the best way when people want to bring you guys in for them? Where do they go? Where do they send that message?
The best way I think is the email, and Frank can put it in, is growth.team@exprealty.net. I get a lot of I get it from every which direction, but work chat is where I see like this is work for me. This is work. But I get a lot of people that will somehow or another, Dave, they get my cell phone number. I remember saying like, don't let them have your mobile number, and somehow or another they still get it. And so, but when I'm more apt to drop the ball. But if you send me a personal work chat or Frank a personal work chat, what we're going to immediately do is bring our team into it. So Katie Mazurkowicz is and Paul, Regina kind of handle our schedules. So either you can send us I don't want you to have to remember those names, either growth.team@exprealty.net, or send Frank or Russ or I or Sean like a personal chat, and we'll immediately get the people in there that need to be in there.
Awesome. So growth.team@exprealty.net, or
Yep.
Hit up Amy or Frank in Workplace, and then they'll bring in the team and everything else. And I know,
Dave, I'm going to add one more thing, because
Sure.
I think people forget, one of the advantages of being part of the FYR group is Dave Conord. Just to remind people, Dave, can you tell people how many agents were at EXP when you took over as president?
about 10,000,
And how many did we have when you left?
about 90,000.
Okay, so there was a growth of 80,000 agents under this man's leadership. So if you guys got to understand something, there's two ingredients to being successful at EXP. Number one is to think bigger than you've ever thought and get out of your comfort zone. Number two is to leverage the platform and the people that you have. We have the former president of the company in your upline, who brought in over 70,000 people to this company.
80.
If you guys aren't leveraging that, you understand we've got a lot of talent on this team, guys. So we're all here to help and to plug into this thing. And, Amy is phenomenal. I've been working with her for a year and a half now. She is an unbelievable leader. I love working with her every single day. I'm here because of Dave Conord. I love working with Dave every single day. Guys, you got great leadership here to help you. So just please plug into us and use us. That's what we're here to do. That's all I got. It's my public service announcement, Dave.
Well, thank you, Frank. I appreciate it, brother. What's that, Amy?
I said, amen. Drop the mic.
Well, you got a great.
I think the growth has seemed like it's flat since you left. Maybe you need to come back.
Kristen is throwing things at you right now.
I know. And we'll let you support these guys. You guys are doing amazing things. So.
Well, it's so much fun. It's so much fun, and you guys are the ones that made it possible for me to be able to step away with confidence, because I love EXP, I love our group, and I love what we're able to do. And knowing that it's in great hands, you guys are doing phenomenal work. It's so much fun, and this is great, guys. You have a group of people all around you to support you. So you have people, sideways, up, down, all over the place, and their staff. So it's really great. So lean in, have your folks there. And I would say, a lot of people, rev share is kind of this thing that you want, like this idea of all this, like this, I can have this passive income. I can really, whatever it means to you and what it might do for your life. But then there's almost like a fear of it. Like it's so scary, the concept of, of whatever. And I think for us that have been, recruiting for a really long time and having conversations, it's sort of second nature. And so I would just encourage you guys to, to put kind of get those limiting beliefs out of your head. Because Amy, how many years were you a team leader, roughly? 3 years. Okay. So she's recruiting hundreds of agents a year, being new at it. It was not, it was not like, oh, she grew up being a recruiter and was a recruiter at another, company or industry or whatever, and came over, whatever, and so it's a lot of us put, something out that, in our head that make it this super complicated thing. And then we what if ourselves to death, and then we never get started. And so I would just encourage you guys, for all of us that have been in doing it, we all started at some point being completely ignorant of the process and how it works, and having no background in it. And it's, if you care about the people, I mean, that's one of Amy's strengths, right? She really cares about helping other people succeed. And so it's just a conversation. How do I help you? And that's, and that really benefits. And that leans into, kind of who we are as a company. People want to be around you if they feel like you can help them succeed. kind of the secret sauce. So Amy, thank you for all the work that you're doing. I know you were like, you put in a bajillion hours. I know what you do. I know all the stuff. So thank you for the work that you do to help everybody else succeed. It's amazing. We appreciate. Amy is also the executive representative for EXP Luxury. So she helped get that off the ground and get that started and keep it supported. And the advisory council that's there and supporting them from the executive standpoint. So that is also a whole nother incredible thing that's there. And off of that, she's also helping with the launch of the sports and entertainment division that's coming out of that. So a lot of really cool stuff that's coming through there. So Amy, thanks for everything you do. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Tell your people, we're sorry we stole you for a while, but thank you.
You guys are great. Thank you. It's so nice to meet so many of you. Don't forget, reach out if you need anything with growth or luxury. Absolutely. All right. Talk to you guys.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.